Thank you for making time for us on NTV Weekend Edition this Saturday, the 8th day of June 2019. We are coming to you live from the nation's center here in the capital city, and these are the headlines. Tonight, the rift within the Kenya National Union of Teachers is widening. This time, the women are protesting.
Are they kicking out those who are in quota simply because it is a women outfit?
You either quit or you work with us alone.
Also tonight, revenue missed as Nairobi's online payment system goes unavailable and the county is denying laxity.
We've given them some of our systems that they needed to use. We've given them servers.
Jambo Pay has not relinquished this USSD code or the pay bill. And this has led to interruption of service delivery.
Plus, 7-year-old hit and killed by a car in Deputy President's convoy, and a Busia hospital is on the spot.
Hayo masaa nikaenda kuambia nurse ati mtoto anatoa damu kwa mapua na kwa mdomo. Hebu mnaweza kuja kunisaidia. Wakaniambia tuwe panguza huyo mtoto.
And youth in Trans Nzoia conned over 2 million shillings in fake United Nations job scam.
It is a group that is non-existent.
These are people who are operating in Nairobi.
This is NTV Weekend Edition with Edmond Nyabola.
Our sign language interpreter tonight is David Agondoa, and together with him we do ask for your company for the next 60 minutes or so. To our top story, the Kenya National Union of Teachers (NAT) is accusing the government of financing a splinter group posing as an association for female teachers. The union claims that TSC has been illegally making deductions from female teachers' pay as contribution to the Kenya Women Teachers Association known as KEWOTA. The union has advised the members to reject KEWOTA, saying it lacks relevance and clout, as Charity Mwangi now tells us.
The Kenya National Union of Teachers (NAT) says that the government is using a group of women leaders who have set up an association, KEWOTA, to destroy it. KEWOTA has reportedly registered close to 60,000 female teachers. NAT says members of the association have been forced into it, and some of them may not even be aware that they are part of the Kenya Women Teachers Association, KEWOTA.
Many teachers have written to the Secretary General, Wilson Sossion, complaining that they are seeing deductions on their pay slips and they are seeing something called KEWOTA. No circular has come from the Teacher Service Commission to explain what KEWOTA is.
KEWOTA is taking a monthly charge, a fee, which is very little, 200 shillings per month, and we are giving it as taking it as administration fee.
KEWOTA officials claim the association seeks to address women issues and is not a union in competition with NAT. They say other associations enjoy privileges that the union now seems to fight. NAT wants nothing to do with it.
It's a slap on our face. It's an affront on NAT, and that is why NAT has come out very clearly and told them, you either quit or you work with us alone.
Are they kicking out those who are in quota simply because it is a women outfit? Is it because they don't value women?
NAT claims that the purported members of KEWOTA did not follow due process to join the association. The union's communications director, Peter Amunga, says it is not the first time the government is trying to weaken the union.
KUPPET is an offshoot from NAT. It was formed to fight NAT. And the same thing is happening now.
KEWOTA is said to have been founded by 3 NAT members, 2 of who previously held offices at the union's national headquarters, and another, Jacinta Ndegwa, still serving as the 2nd national women representative. It partly raises the issue of women representation in NAT.
There are three women against 11 national officials. Then we have the National Executive Committee, which has got 27, and out of them, 7 actually are women.
Sources say the union is worried that Kewota may be targeting female members with its eyes on a donor kitty worth millions of shillings. The kitty is meant to address gender-based violence in schools, among other gender-related issues within the education sector. Jacinta Ndegwa is currently in charge of gender issues and is accused of heading this mission.
All the roles that Kewota seems to be usurping or taking are roles that are by the gender desk. Talking about women issues, talking about gender-based violence, talking about everything to do with women and teaching.
We have no relation with the donors who are funding KNUT. And besides that, what is the issue? Why are they afraid?
NAT stands to lose out on the contribution of over 130,000 members who Kewota is targeting to join the association. Every member of NAT contributes 2% of their salary every month. Charity Mwangi, NTV.
The Nairobi City County may have lost close to 1 million shillings today and risks losing over 100 million shillings on Monday after it broke ties with JamboPay, the company responsible for the collection of revenue in the county. JamboPay says that it was terminating the services with the county after its contract expired, adding that it has resolved not to renew it. The county, however, says that it is ready to run its own system, even as it remained non-committal on its level of preparedness. NTV's Silas Apollo has that report.
You may have noticed the unusual traffic and cars parked within various streets in the central business district of Nairobi. Something quite unusual for a Saturday.
Well, the reason for this was that the company responsible for providing the platform for the collection of parking fees through a mobile phone application, also known as the e-revenue, decided to terminate its services.
Indeed, at 1 minute past midnight, we did discontinue the e-revenue collection services for one of our clients, that's Nairobi. We did so because we got to the end of our contract engagement that has lasted slightly over 5 years.
And as a result of the shutdown of the system, it is estimated that the county might have lost about 1 million shillings in the form of parking fees today. That figure could hit over 100 million shillings on Monday alone if the system is not restored or an alternative one put in place, according to figures by JamboPay.
We did give notice well in advance to the client, even before the contract, beginning of the year. We are now in June. So that is 6 months ago. We indicated that our unwillingness to continue with the engagement. We, as a matter of fact, did not tender again.
JamboPay says that the shutdown was a long time coming, but added that it had provided the county with all the support system to ensure a smooth transition. But the county government, while acknowledging that it had severe ties with JamboPay, accused them of failing to meet some of their contractual obligations. County Executive Committee member for Urban Planning Charles Kerich, however, says that the county was ready to roll out its system on Monday.
From Monday, we will begin to use our internal system. It is at that point that we will know whether there are any teething problems, whether there are any systemic issues that need to be addressed, and we shall address them. Continuity of service. We are going to announce another USSD and another pay bill. We have about 19 pay bill accounts in Nairobi City County. We are going to use one of them.
JamboPay has been providing the revenue collection system for the county since 2014, after the county decided to automate its revenue collection system under former Governor Evans Kidero. The system has been hailed for streamlining collections and sealing corruption loopholes, leading to a rise in the amount of revenue collected by double the amount, from about 6 billion shillings to 13 billion shillings a year just from parking, according to data by JamboPay. License fees, on the other hand, have risen by about 300 million shillings after the county adopted the system, before other counties also opted for the automated system. Its shutdown, therefore, could have serious ramifications on the revenue figures of the county should the county fail to find an alternative. Besides the collection of parking fees, the system has also been the one used for the payment of land rates, business permit fees, licenses, and others. Silas Apollo, NTV.
It was free parking for many a Nairobian today. Now, police in Nandi County have launched a manhunt for County Governor Stephen Sang following his invasion of Kibwari Tea Plantation today. This is according to the County Commissioner Sami Kimiti. The police action comes a day after Nandi Governor Stephen Sang invaded Kibwari Tea Company, which is owned by powerful KANU-era politician Henry Kosgei. The company has condemned the move, insisting ownership of the land will be determined in court. NTV's Lois Wangoi reports that Governor Sang reclaimed 4 acres of Kibwari Tea Plantation today and commenced the construction of a community cattle dip, which he claims was illegally demolished by Henry Kosgei in the 90s.
Governor Sang is a wanted man, and here is why. A day after invading Kibwari Tea Plantation, he was back with county enforcement officers. The activities saw residents converge here too to take stock of the day's events. The older generation narrates that the 4-acre piece of land in question was their rightfully owned land, which served community purposes in the 80s.
Baka juzi ulipomoa kwa sisi ni members. Huyu mse Kosgei ulipomoa TV yetu. Na sisi ni member, hata mimi iko receipt. Hapa sisi ulijenga.
Residents of the neighboring villages were armed with fencing materials and erected a fence of their now new community land. Governor Sang saying that in the next 1 month, he will be back here to commission this cattle dip, whose construction he began today, while warning Kibwari Tea Plantation Company to vacate all operations on this 4-acre piece of land.
Watu wanasema ati, kuna siasa ndani yake. Siasa, kama kuna siasa, ni siasa ambayo ilianzishwa wakati mtu anabomoa dip. Wewe saa zile wewe unabomoa cattle dip ya raia. The economic activity ya watu hawa ni kuchunga ng'ombe na mifugo yao. Wewe unapokuja kubomoa cattle dip, wewe you are an economic saboteur.
Alan Kosgei, a director at Kibwari Tea Company and son of Henry Kosgei, a major shareholder of Kibwari Tea Company, arrived much later at the scene, accompanied by security personnel. Here, they condemned the destruction of the tea plantations at the site.
Ni historia kuona kwamba kiongozi anachukua paoso yeye mwenyewe na viongozi wenzake na wanaanza kukata chai. Leo asubuhi tumewasiliana na DPP. DPP ametoa amri ya kwamba Bwana Sang ashikwe.
Governor Sang says this is just the beginning of things to come, adding that in his manifesto, he did promise to reclaim all land that Nandi County residents had lost through historical injustices. He has further sent a warning to tea multinationals in Nandi County whose leases are nearing a lapse in the next 2 to 5 years. He notes that there will be no renewal of those leases.
And as the governor for Nandi, I can give you the assurance, we will not renew the leases of these characters. When the leases expire, some of them are expiring in the next 2 years, others in the next 3 years. As a county government, our priority will be that we must first resettle our people who are living in squalid conditions before we can talk about any renewal.
Lois Wangoi, NTV, in the county of Nandi.
Now, with many unemployed Kenyans looking for jobs, con artists have seen this as a money-making opportunity to fleece desperate job seekers who do anything to get employment. Police in Trans Nzoia County have launched investigations into a syndicate where over 80 unemployed youth have been swindled of over 2 million shillings by fraudsters masquerading as United Nations officials assigned to recruit staff to its mission in South Sudan.
For the millions of unemployed young Kenyans, unemployment means a brutal and harsh life, where every day is a gamble and basic needs are a challenge to address. And the sad reality is that education does not change much. In Trans Nzoia County, fraudsters have seen this as a money-making opportunity to fleece desperate job seekers who do anything to secure employment. Imposters masquerading as United Nations Mission UNIMIS staff in Juba, working with some local chiefs and government officials, managed to recruit 83 young people from 4 different locations within Trans Nzoia County. The desperate youth each had to part with 27,000 shillings after being subjected to an interview conducted at the chief's offices in Sirende, Kitale Municipality, Kibomet and Matisi. The fraudsters were able to swindle the desperate job seekers over 2 million shillings. According to documents seen by NTV, the training was supposed to take place between 6th and 11th June, with trainees undergoing a checkup by UN military police for verification of documents. The trainees were expected to undergo basic training, theory and practical on humanitarian work and self-defense skills. The trainees were also to learn radio and communication and air-to-ground skills before a pass-out ceremony. A man identified as Thomas Ofule, posing as a UNMIS representative, approached the management of Skynest Hotel and requested for quotation for the booking of the training exercise. In a mail communicated to the hotel to host the UNIMIS staff and 150 trainees dated May 31st, 2019, the masqueraders promised to make all payments before the training could take place.
In a day, we have been in contact with them like 3 times. And especially asking them to commit themselves. It seems like it is a group that is non-existent.
Trans Nzoia County Commissioner Sam Ojwang confirmed the incident and said investigations have been launched.
From the telephone contacts that we are investigating and we have established, these are people who are operating in Nairobi and they are just out to con people, and we want to warn Kenyans. United Nations has not advertised for any job opportunities for anybody.
Ojwang added that an intelligence report has revealed how some government officials aided the conmen and they will soon face the law.
Those government officers who may have been involved within Trans Nzoia, including the Red Cross official, to also record statement with the DCI officers in Trans Nzoia County.
Most of the trainees contacted by NTV refused to comment, saying they had been warned not to share any information since the matter was sensitive. Rose Wangoi, NTV.
Quite unfortunate that some individuals are actually taking advantage of young men who are looking for jobs to ask them for money. And many companies actually do not ask for money when they're recruiting, so you need to be very careful with that. Now, Teachers Training College is offering unregistered courses, and some of which are being taught by unqualified teachers. This is the description and picture that students and government officials have painted of the Kibwezi Teachers Training College in Makueni County. Vincent Oduor now reports that one of the female students who spoke to NTV has been expelled for exposing the school's rot.
Kibwezi Teachers Training College in Makueni County is on the spot for deliberately admitting unsuspecting students to study unregistered courses at the institution. These emerged after a number of students who were to sit for their final certificate examinations were asked by the school director Joyce Nzibo to sit exams for courses they had not enrolled to study.
Ikakuja ikafika mahali tukaambiwa hatujarejestiwa hii kosi tunafanya ya social work and community development, tutafanya ICT ambayo hatukuwa tumesomea. Kwa hivyo tukakataa, tukasema hatutafanya. Sasa tunaomba usaidizi wenu.
Hata wengine walikuwa wanataka kutransfer wenzetu, hata si hapa. Amekatalia certificate ziko hapo. Hata kama umelipa fee yote, hata kama uko na OP. Na shida ya mtihani si eti imekaa kuregister mtihani si eti mara ya kwanza. Mwenzetu alikuwa hapa mwezi wa 4. Alikuwa anafanya DT. Amesoma for 3 years. Friday, Monday ni riaso. Anamwambia huko registered mtihani. Sasa hivi yenye naongea kuna PT2. Wewe aende kufanya mtihani. Kama madam ni kama ni mazoea yake ya kuchukua pesa.
Kibwezi Sub-County Education Officer Kennedy Machora has confirmed receiving the complaints, accusing the college of employing unqualified teachers.
ICT haiwezekani kwa wakati huu kwa sababu hawezi kufanya ICT wakati hawajafundishwa na wamerekebishiwa hiyo ICT within 1 month. Sasa baada ya kuuliza Kenya National Exam Council iwapatie artisan course or craft, nimegundua tena kutakuweko na ugumu mwingine ya kwamba hata hiyo artisan ambao tunataka wafanye awacha soma the courses.
With the frustrated students reaching out to NTV with their predicament, the college administration has allegedly hit back and expelled one female student. The students who have been paying school fees all along will now not sit for their final certificate examinations, slated for July. Efforts to speak to the college director were futile. Vincent Odur, NTV.
To a sad incident, police in Homa Bay County have commenced investigations into the murder of the county's Transport Executive Committee member nominee Philemon Dony Opar. Dony Opar was shot dead on Friday night at his petrol station in Kendo Bay. Friends and family members have condemned the incident, calling on security personnel to establish and arrest those behind the murder. Homa Bay County Police Commander Esther Sironei has confirmed the incident. Opar had gone to his petrol station, as he usually does every day, to collect the day's cash when he was ambushed and shot dead. Early this year, Homa Bay County Assembly had approved Opar's nomination as the executive in charge of roads, transport and infrastructure. However, Opar was yet to start his job, as he had not been sworn in. Sources now say he had claimed that his life was in danger.
We may have our speculations, we may have our insinuations, but I want to ask all our family members to remain calm. And like the government usually says, that they will leave no stone unturned. We want to urge very strongly that the government does everything possible within its means to make sure that the perpetrators of this killing are brought to book.
The only thing which was pending was just a swearing in, which we had planned to be done in a week's time. So he was already enthusiastic and he was raring to go to join us and help us deliver services to the people of Homa Bay.
The number of defilement cases have, according to recent reports, been on the rise. This has particularly been troubling in certain counties where child neglect is a contributing factor. This Sunday, NTV takes a look at the cases reported in Makueni County. Here now is a sneak peek of the special report dubbed Predator Guardians by Charity Mwangi.
Nilichange nguo ndo ni babangu akachukua blanketi akanifunika nayo macho. Tukilima anatuita hapo nyumbani, anatutoa suruali.
If these walls could speak, then they will tell of the crippling fear and the intense pain experienced by victims possibly violated here.
Tukisema anatukata na kipanga. Mimi nilikuwa nakaa nikistuka kila wakati sababu amechukua kisu, anasema anakuja kutuua.
As of today, we have about 77 were in custody.
The torture doesn't end upon their rescue.
What about the trauma of these kids?
Do watch out for that on Sunday at 9 p.m. with Charity Mwangi. 22 minutes past the hour. We take our first short break on NTV Weekend Edition. Don't go too far because we still have plenty more for you. Welcome back. Police in Nyandarua County are investigating an incident involving a private vehicle that was burnt in a police station in Olkalau town. A vehicle that burnt less than 2 meters from the DCI's office and the dog section unit is believed to have been used for criminal activities.
A burnt shell of a car sits at the Olkalau police station. The custodians of the station try to understand what happened, or perhaps some among them may be in the know. The vehicle was torched while in the premises. The vehicle, a Toyota NZD with the number KBY279B, is said to have been used by 3 suspects in case of theft within Olkalau town. Area residents had on several occasions informed the police about the terror trio that largely steals electronics, but no significant effort had been made. Stephen Murray, a resident, took matters into his own hands and trailed the car for over 3 kilometers. The suspects, upon realizing that they were being followed, abandoned the car and fled.
Tukafuata hiyo gari pole kwanza, alafu tukaona ya kwamba hiyo gari inaweza ikaenda na tuikose. Nikaanza kuikimbisha. Ndio after kitu dakika chache kutuona nyuma, hiyo gari ilienda na speed moja kali sana. Tukaikimbisha, wakafika pale kuna daraja. Wakati walifika hapo kwa daraja, wakaacha gari na wakaruka chini ya daraja na wakapotea.
The police impounded the car and took it to the station. In a bizarre occurrence, the seized vehicle is said to have caught fire in the wee hours of the morning. The incident has elicited anger from the locals who feel that some police officers could be connected to the syndicate in what is believed to be an attempt to conceal evidence. Nyandarua County Commissioner Boaz Cherutich says they have launched investigations into the matter.
Chunguzi kuonyesha ama kutueleza ile kitu ambayo imefanya gari kuchomeka saa 9 usiku. Kwa sababu askari walikuwa hapa on duty ambao walikuwa wamekuwa deployed. Sasa hatujui kama ni electrical fault ama kuna jambo lingine ambayo labda hatujui.
A manhunt is currently underway for the criminal gang. Helen Wanjohi, NTV.
The father of Sydney Malamba, the boy who died in hospital after being knocked down by a car in Deputy President William Ruto's convoy on Friday, is now blaming the Busia County Referral Hospital for the death of his young son. Felix Malamba says the hospital failed to handle the case as an emergency upon being admitted Friday evening. Deputy President Ruto has since reached out to the family and pledged support towards funeral expenses. Felix Malamba says he took his bleeding son to Busia County Referral Hospital Friday evening on referral by the Port Victoria Sub-County Hospital, where he had been first admitted after the accident. But it is the service they received at Busia Hospital, or lack of it, he says, that might have led to the demise of 7-year-old Sydney.
Tulifika hapa saa 1. Tulikaa Busia masaa 3 bila kushika mtoto. Hiyo kitu ndio iliniuma sana. Nilikaa Busia hayo masaa, nikaenda kuambia nurse ati mtoto anatoa damu kwa mapua na kwa mdomo. Hebu mnaweza kuja kunisaidia? Wakaniambia tuwe panguza huyo mtoto. Sasa daktari naye hakukuwa karibu.
The hospital's management is denying the father's claims. The deputy medical superintendent says Sydney was attended to in good time and that he died in the process of receiving treatment.
Our doctors managed to see the patient at 8:10. The patient was received at 7:45, was seen by the doctor at 8:10 p.m. and assessment was done. Patient was unconscious, bleeding from the ears, nose. Unfortunately, before these examinations were conducted, the patient started gasping and was confirmed dead.
Sydney Malamba was knocked down by a vehicle belonging to DP Ruto's press team as a convoy was leaving St. Benedict's Budalangi High School in Busia County on Friday evening.
Wakati ambapo ndege ilikuwa inapaa juu, ilikuja kwamba sasa ni harakati ya kuondoka kila mmoja katika ule uwanja. Sasa ikafikia kwamba huyo mtoto alipokuwa anatoka ndipo akapatana na hilo gari na hilo gari likamgonga akaanguka chini.
The deputy president has sent a personal message of condolence to the family and promised to cover all the funeral expenses.
Naibu wa rais ametoa agizo kwamba anataka polisi wafanye uchunguzi
ili kujua na kubainisha ni nini kilitendeka. Anaamini kwamba huyo mtoto hakustahili kufa.
The family of the Standard 1 pupil is now calling for justice. May young Sydney's soul rest in peace. Now, there was drama in Kitengela town after a man was caught pants down with a 17-year-old Form 3 student in a lodging. The 21-year-old was arrested at the lodging with the girl who was going home for the midterm school break.
Drama unfolded in Kitengela this afternoon when a 21-year-old man was caught pants down with an underage girl in a hotel. The 17-year-old girl was supposedly heading home for midterm. Eyewitnesses said the man booked the hotel room in the morning only to appear with a minor who was in her uniforms, a matter that the lodging attendants could not allow. This prompted them to alert police officers. The man admitted to having been in love with the Form 3 schoolgirl.
Tumeongea na tukaangalia, nikamuuliza tueleke wapi, nikamuuliza unataka tuende mahali secluded, akaniambia ni sawa, akaniambia tunaweza enda mahali kama lodging, nikamwambia basi ni sawa. Tukakuja hapa tukazungumza, hata ile askari wakiingia ilikuwa ni harakati ya kuzungumza, hakuna kitu chochote tumefanya.
Residents condemned the act, terming it a painful experience to parents who pay fees for their daughters only to be waylaid by sex predators. The incident attracted a huge crowd outside the building trying to get a glimpse of the two, who are whisked away by the police to Kitengela police station. Police say the man is in custody and will appear in court soon.
Well, how about that? Let's take another short break on NTV Weekend Edition. We'll be back with more. Don't go too far. private hospitals. Despite a court order issued to the striking health workers, they have stated that they will not relent until the county government of Kirinyaga agrees to meet and resolve their grievances amicably.
Doctor, I'm in dire need of medical attention. Wait, where are the doctors? This government dispensary is just about deserted, with little to no activity taking place, and that's not all, as the same case has been witnessed for the last 10 days in other public health facilities across the county.
Tikiti ni mingi kutoka huku kwenda kwa hiyo hospitali private, mtu akigonjeka usiku, saa hii hata huwezi jua utaenda wapi, na kwanza kama huna pesa, hiyo inakuwa shinda ingine, unaweza kufia kwa nyumba.
Among the hospitals which have been closed due to the strike include Kibimbi Hospital in Mwea, Sagana and Kinyaga Hospital, and Mwituti Dispensary, among others. Kirinyaga Governor Anwai Guru says those fueling the ongoing strike are not from the county and ought to stay away so that the workers can resume work. The workers have put their foot down, saying they will not be coerced. The Kenya Union of Clinical Officers Chairman Paul Mwangi stressed that the government has chosen to politicize the ongoing health crisis instead of providing solutions.
Kama mheshimiwa rais anaweza tii sheria ya koti, anaambiwa arudie uchaguzi, anarudia. Kwani hawa madaktari ndio nani? Ati wanaambiwa warudi kazini, wanasema hawawezi sikiza koti. Tutakubali hivyo kama watu wa Kirinyaga? Hiyo tumekataa na tumesema wasiporudi tutawafuta.
Sacking health workers will not bring a solution. I have been saying this time again and again. We must address the problem.
The workers claim that the deplorable working conditions have driven them on edge as the county has kept on ignoring their grievances over time.
What we are saying is employ enough health workers to bridge the gap in order for us to serve Wanjiko as she should be, so that patients don't have to wait for hours and hours and days to get a diagnosis and treatment. We are here for Wanjiko. We want promotions because promotions are a part of motivation building for workers. We want promotions for all health workers.
The health workers have vowed to visit the governor's office on a daily basis until she heeds to their cries and calls for dialogue with them. Helen Aura, NTV.
A livestock trader who was shot and dumped in Sabor Forest has been laid to rest in West Pokot. The trader, identifies as Kedinyan Lotulia, was arrested alongside his friend and 4 others for allegedly buying stolen cows from Lomut Livestock Market. The bullet-ridden bodies were later found in the forest, drawing condemnation from residents and county leaders. Lotulia was laid to rest at his home in Chepareria Ward.
Kedinyang Lotulia's grief-stricken family at his burial in Chapareria Ward. The tears made even more bitter by the fact that Lotulia's body was found in a bad state, bullet-ridden and dumped in Sabor Forest. County leaders have since termed the killing as cruel and suspicious.
Sisi wa Pokot tuna suspect polisi kwamba waliwa watoto wetu. Na kama sio polisi, then Inspector General akuja atuambie ni nani aliabduct watoto wetu na kwenda kuua.
Lotulia was reported missing alongside his friend last week after they were picked up by a private car moments after they were charged at Kapenguria law courts for allegedly buying stolen livestock. They had been released on bond. The 2 were charged alongside 4 others who narrowly escaped death and are undergoing treatment at the Moi Teaching and Referral Hospital.
Mimi nimeandika petition na siku ya Jumanne wiki hii Mheshimiwa Spika amenipatia nafasi ya kuuliza swali. Mtu mmoja anaitwa Matiang'i. Sinataka Matiang'i akuje bunge, akuje ajibu maswali.
This has, however, not been the first time that a mysterious killing has taken place in the area. On the 18th of February 2017, Kibet Cherete, the then Lawyer Morok ward representative, was killed alongside parliamentary aspirant Pepe Kitamba. The 2 were at a nightclub in Marigat town when 2 unknown gunmen stormed into the premises and sprayed the 2 politicians with bullets. Cherete's car was then torched while Kitamba's car was badly damaged. Witnesses say that the gunmen had monitored the politicians before descending on them. Barely 3 months later, on May 19, 2017, the member of the County Assembly for Churo Amaya Ward, Thomas Minito, went missing for 3 days from Baringo. The MCA would later be found floating in a river in Matungulu, Machakos, with an injury inflicted on his head by a blunt object. Zachariah Rotino and Helen Chepkor would also fall victim to attacks by unidentified gunmen. Rotino and his daughter Helen were asleep at their home in Chepchoina when attackers shot them in their sleep at 4 a.m. While the attackers did not steal anything, Rotino had disclosed before his death that people identified as police officers were threatening him over accusations that he was inciting violence between the Pokot and Marakwet communities. The chilling incident occurred in January 2019. Investigations into the killings have still not yielded any information. Stacey Kirori, NTV.
Popular radio host and sports presenter Mohamed Juma Njuguna was laid to rest this afternoon at Kariokor Cemetery in Nairobi County. Juma passed away this morning after a long illness at the Nairobi hospital. His sterling career, which dates back to the early 70s, saw him mature in broadcasting as a qualified radio presenter, TV producer, and newscaster. Earlier today, his friends, fans, and colleagues took to social media to pay tribute to the broadcasting legend in the country. Kenyans will remember Juma for his prowess in Kiswahili commentary, which saw him awarded with the Head of State Commendation in 2010. He was recognized for his exemplary contribution to broadcasting and soccer commentary. Rest in peace, Mohamed Njuguna. He actually means a lot to many a sports journalist. Like myself, that's where I started. And on that note, let's take a short break. When we come back, we have all about Have You Heard This? And History Saturday. You do not want to miss that. It's time for Fun and Landing on NTV Weekend Edition. Have you heard about this Ugandan suspect who appeared in court wearing clothes stolen from the presiding magistrate he was being charged before? Media reports say Magistrate Benjamin Seruru was left speechless after Jimmy Oteng, who he had previously set free on May 24th, appeared in court with clothes stolen from him. After his first release, Oteng broke into the magistrate's house and stole 4 suits and 2 20-liter jerrycans of water he thought contained cooking oil. According to the Daily Monitor, our sister paper in Uganda, the magistrate was forced to adjourn the hearing for a week to recover from the shock. Can you imagine? The nerve of this guy. Do you expect the magistrate to be lenient? Have you heard that the Guinean parliament has passed a law that gives first wives the legal right to approve a polygamous marriage? That law stipulates that at the time of marriage, a husband has to declare that he opts for polygamy and gain the explicit agreement of his first wife. Here's another catch. The law only limits the number of wives to 4. So much for affirmative action, my friends. Do we need such a law in Kenya, do you think? Perhaps we do. And by the way, have you heard about this new report that warns of the end of the human civilization as we know it in 2050 due to the effects of climate change? According to Australia's National Centre for Climate Restoration think tank, 1 billion people in West Africa and the Middle East will have to relocate due to unlivable climatic conditions. In the meantime, 55% of the world's population, they say, will also have to deal with over 20 days of lethal heat conditions every year, in addition to food production becoming inadequate. It's time to pack up and go, people. I'm not sure we can stand this. And this is some good news. Have you heard about the game-changing treatment known as Search and Destroy, which could offer new hope for thousands of men with incurable prostate cancer? The first 2 patients have been treated in the UK after research found that it could significantly extend survival for those with no other treatment options. 1 in 5 men lived for almost 3 years after receiving the targeted radiotherapy. The method is based on imaging techniques which light up the tumors and delivers a radioactive payload. I don't even understand this, but I know it could help many lives. Time now for History Saturday, where we look at some of the key events of the years gone by. Here is a look at the week from 3rd to 9th June, beginning with one from home. On 5th June 1977, the late Professor Wangari Maathai led the National Council of Women of Kenya on a march to Kamkunji Park in Nairobi to plant trees. This was the beginning of the Green Belt movement. Wangari would become the first African woman to win the Nobel Prize in 2004 for her efforts in environmental conservation. She died of complications from ovarian cancer in 2011. She's a great woman who inspired many generations. May her soul keep being peaceful. On 3rd June 1981, Pope John Paul II was released from hospital after an assassination attempt. The Pope had been shot and wounded by Mehmet Ali on 13th of May of the same year. He was struck 4 times and suffered severe blood loss. Mehmet was apprehended immediately and later sentenced to life in prison by an Italian court. The Pope later forgave the man who attempted to take his life. On 4th of June 1994, Haile Gebrselassie ran a world record in the 5 kilometers race of 12 minutes and 56.96 seconds. This was the first of many records in the Ethiopian legend's illustrious career, in which he won many gold medals in world championships and the Olympic Games. The current 5K record is held by his countryman Kenenisa Bekele of 12 minutes 37.35 seconds that was set in 2004. Kenyans Henry Rono, Moses Kiptanui and Daniel Komen have also held the 5K record in the past. On June 9th, 1998, Abdul Salami Abubakar succeeded dictator Sani Abacha as the military president of Nigeria. Abacha had been in power for 5 years and is accused of plundering the West African nation's economy through mega corruption. He died on 8th of June 1998, aged 54. His successor, Abubakar, served for only 1 year and was succeeded by Olusegun Obasanjo as the first democratically elected president of Africa's most populous nation. The population of Nigeria, by the way, is 200 million. That is almost 4 times what Kenya is. Now, the World Environment Day was marked across the globe this week with the theme of air pollution, a silent killer. Kenyans from different walks of life came out in droves to play their part, mostly by planting trees. In our picture of the week, we shine the light on students from 5 schools in northern Kenya who were brought together by World Vision Kenya to plant trees in the Asal lands of Marsabit. This was in support of community-led conservation actions in the Asals to increase tree cover in the country. Air pollution is estimated to kill over 18,000 people in Kenya every single year, especially in urban areas. It kills over 600,000 people in Africa and over 7 million people across the globe every single year. Air pollution is in different categories. Indoor air pollution is the first through burning of wood and charcoal for energy, and also outdoor, which is through emissions from vehicles and industries. I hope you learned something out of that. Let's take another short break. When we come back, the sports news will be here with Brian Otua.
on Algeria in the Africa Cup of Nations opening fixture, head coach Sebastian Minye and captain Victor Wanyama have acknowledged that there is a lot of work that needs to be done with the team. The duo was speaking following Kenya's scrappy 1-0 win over Madagascar in an international friendly played in Paris, France last night.
The victory brings some confidence for the team. It's exactly what I want, but we need to, in the first half, show us we need to continue to be humble. Without humility, when you don't respect football, the football kills you. It was almost the case in the first half. Fortunately, we had a good reaction after.
It's always important, to have games friendlies like this and to get on a good run. And when you win games like this, it gives you confidence going to the next one with the big confidence, and also is a morale to us players. And it's just important to start this way, because I think this way is the only way to improve.
And coming back home under 3 teams, 2 automatic promotion slots means there is no room for error on the final day of the National Super League on Sunday afternoon. Wazito, Kisumu All-Stars and Nairobi Stima will be out to seal automatic promotion to the Kenyan Premier League. The team that finishes 3rd will face Posta Rangers in the promotion relegation playoff. Brian Otwal with the details.
Wazito head into the final day of the National Super League in pole position. The Fred Ambani coach side that boasts of enviable sponsorship will be seeking to not only earn an immediate return to the top flight league, but also clinch the NSL title. Leading with 78 points, one better than second place Kisumu All-Stars and Nairobi Stima, Wazito need 3 points against St. Joseph Youth at the Kamtoyo grounds to be crowned the NSL champions.
Tafanya juu chini na wachezaji tupate results na results ni kupata 3 points kwa sababu tukipata point moja ndio ni mbaya. Hapo kuna 3 points ndio sure unafanya nini kila kitu kosa hajua tujui wenzetu wamechezaje leo.
Kisumu All-Stars are second on 77 points and under the tutelage of former international Francis Oduor. The Lakeside outfit will be away to relegation bound Thika United. Nairobi Stima, who lie 3rd also on 77 points but with a 4-goal inferior goal difference, will travel to take on Eldoret Youth. The top 2 sides in the NSL will earn direct promotion to the top flight, while the 3rd placed team will play Posta Rangers, who finished 16th in the Kenyan Premier League in the promotion relegation playoff.
Ligi NSL ni competitive sana. Ule mtu utarajia kufunga na kufunga. Sasa unajua kuna timu tu kushua inaenda kufunga. Ukiingia grao ni lazima ufanye nini? Ukishapitoa wewe uanze na points zako na unashukuru. Lakini bila hiyo NSL ni tricky sana. Huwezi taka kucheza hapa miaka 2, miaka 3. Cheza moja afadhali uwepe. Uondoke.
Meanwhile, 4th place Tushuru FC, coached by Ken Kenyatta, will face Kenya Police, having failed to clinch promotion for yet another season. In other matches on Sunday, Bidco United travel to play Administration Police. Shabana will be at home to FC Talanta at the Gusii Stadium. Coast Stima will play Green Commandos. Fortune Sacco host Modern Coast Rangers. Nairobi City Stars take on Kibera Black Stars, while Migori Youth battles relegated Kangemi All-Stars. All the matches kick off at 2 p.m. Brian Otwal, NTV Sport.
Now, with just under a week to go to the inaugural Africa Beach Games, the Kenyan team that will travel to Cape Verde was unveiled in Mombasa. Meanwhile, the private and international prep schools' national swimming championships got underway. Aida Waringa with details of these stories and more in our local sports roundup.
The National Olympic Committee of Kenya, NOC, unveiled the national team that will represent the country in the inaugural Africa Beach Games set to be hosted in Cape Verde from June 14th to 23rd. Most of the teams, including the men's and women's handball, men's football, tennis and kiteboarding, held their training sessions on the beach in Mombasa ahead of their departure to Cape Verde next week. The NOC officials also handed the teams their kits branded by Nike.
Yeah, I think that's what sports gives you away from the competition. You go into to a village where there's everyone from all walks of life. You get to make new friends, you get to interact and get good competitors from on the other side. So it's really a good buffet in terms of culture, in terms of races, in terms of the people, in terms of the competition.
Michael Njenga and Lydia Njeri are the new champions of the 13th edition of the Henry Wanyoike Hope for the Future run held in Kikuyu, Kiambu County. Njenga broke the tape in 25 minutes 2 seconds to beat Vincent Boyd and Duncan Manyara in the men's 10-kilometer senior race. Njeri crossed the finish line in 30 minutes and 1 second ahead of Pauline Wangoi and Esther Waweru.
Hii weather haikuwa very conducive kwa sababu kulikuwa na baridi, lakini na tena wanariadha wenye tulikuwa na wao ilionyeshana kila mtu alikuwa amejiprepare kwa hii race.
Race haikuwa mbaya na nimefurahia kushinda, lakini upande wa traffic ni changamoto kwa sababu sio safe vile.
In swimming, Lukenya Academy aced the first day of the Private and International Prep Schools Sports Association National Swimming Championships. Lukenya led Oshwal Academy Nairobi and Seahorses Aquatic Club. The championships attracted more than 850 swimmers aged between 4 and 17 years. Yes. Meanwhile, Nova Academies topped the medal standings with 33 medals, among them 16 gold, 10 silver and 7 bronze at the Lifetime Age Group and Open Championships held in Makini School. The hosts Makini were second, with Lifetime Swim Club third.
Hey girls, we're doing breaststroke, okay?
She will get there. Gwila Gwyn was on target for Germany as they pipped China 1-0 in the second match of the FIFA Women's World Cup that is ongoing in France. Later tonight, African champions Nigeria, who are playing in their 7th straight World Cup, will open their campaign against Norway. The month-long football